Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Green Transition Show with me, Dr. Francis Tuokuu. Artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming one of the most powerful technologies of our time. It is shaping our world from healthcare and education to finance, agriculture, and climate finance. But as AI systems become smarter and more widespread, an important question emerges. What is the environmental cost of this digital revolution? In today's episode of the Green Transition Show, we examine the hidden cost, particularly related to environmental footprint of AI or artificial intelligence, and ask whether technological innovation and sustainability can coexist. With me to have this discussion is Abigail Kyei-Kwateng. Welcome to the show, Abigail.
Thank you very much, Francis. It's a pleasure to actually be on your show. Thank you.
We are so excited to have you on the show. If you are new to the channel, kindly go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button to encourage us, to motivate us to continue to bring you insightful conversations. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and also on LinkedIn. To start with, Abigail, kindly introduce yourself to our audience and tell us about your work in AI, sustainability, or digital innovation.
Okay, so first and foremost, my name is Abigail Kyei-Kwateng, as you rightly stated. I have a background in petroleum engineering and sustainable development too as well. In regards to my work, I am a co-founder for a plastic recycling company in Ghana, West Africa. Basically, as a plastic recycling founder, I have utilized artificial intelligence in regards to acquiring data, data automations, and also energy efficiency or energy usage in regards to managing the company. Particularly, my approach in regards to utilizing data in my day-to-day work has been the ability to basically synchronize AI capability and analyzing the inputs in regards to how I assign my duties to my employers and in regards to making purchases in regards to our plastic buyback centers, managing our data across board, and also the ability to predict the amount of data that we do receive day in, day out, and also get to analyze what the output would be at the end of the day in regards to the approach we use or the turnaround we make every single day. So I would say that AI has rapidly become a tool that has been a part of our business with which we would not be running efficiently as a whole. So that's about it.
Where are you based? Where are you speaking to our audience from? At the moment,
so right now, I am based. Yeah, so I'm a sustainability engineer in Scotland, but I do have a company in Ghana that is called EcoPlax. So I co-found a company in Ghana too as well, but I'm still based in Scotland as a sustainability engineer doing my whole carbon accounting and engineering here. But at the same time, I'm more like jack of all trades, trying to manage things at the same time. So doing this in Scotland at the same time, trying to manage the plastic recycling in Ghana too as well.
We are so happy to have you on the show. Was there a specific moment or experience that made you to realize that AI technology could be used to address environmental, challenges?
Yeah, of course. So from my experience, as I rightly stated initially, so in regards to AI approaches, the first time I realized that AI is something that could become very efficient or very complementary in regards to running businesses based on sustainability or improving sustainability as a whole was when, with regards to managing our company, or in regards to managing data, as I'm here in Scotland right now, basically trying to do consultancy for other companies in regards to their carbon emissions, carbon accounting, you come to realize that without artificial intelligence, everything would be inefficient based on how we manage data, how we get data, the time that we use in compiling these data, and then the output has to go. Additionally, in regards to my work in Ghana too as well, without artificial intelligence, every single data that would have to come across would have to be something that we have to get on ground and then get at the end of the day, which obviously costs more money and also time consuming too as well. So with all these drawn experiences based on my experience in Scotland, experience in Ghana, I have come to realize without artificial intelligence, everything would be much more slower and also less efficient, if you ask me. So quite to the contrary, I feel like a lot of people have, or there is this perspective in regards to artificial intelligence as a futuristic tool, how it is coming in and coming to take over, coming to change the narrative, taking people's jobs as what normally I think the norm that's going around in regards to it's coming to replace human beings. But then if we can look at it from this other side as AI not being just a futuristic invasion, but more as a tool in the fact that we can utilize it to the best of our abilities in regards to sustainability and also impacting the environment.
In your work, in your line of work, what has surprised you about the public's misunderstanding or the public's understanding of AI and sustainability?
Okay, so I think I'll share this first experience. I think this is quite a recent experience that I had. So I was doing a carbon accounting for a company in regards to how to basically to pitch their investors of them being particularly keen on the environment, corporate sustainability, all that inclusive. And I remember there was a couple of tools that were introduced. I was just trying to do a bit of a training in regards to the employers and how they can incorporate the tools. And I think one of the tools actually does the work. It's an AI tool that does the work of what the consultants would actually do on a day-to-day basis. And this is also something that I'm working on. But then I remember I pitched that to them, and out of the blue, I think there was a comment that, okay, this is what they're talking about, the invasion and them coming to take over, putting people out of their jobs or making people lazy in that concept. People think that artificial intelligence is just going to be a turnaround that's going to make people much more lazier, less contrary to using their brains, quote and unquote, to make decisions for themselves. But on the contrary, we should just look at it on the side that it is an aiding tool. It is something that, so AI is basically, it has the ability to mimic human capability. It cannot take over, it just mimics. So what we can do is, in the fact that we put something in there, it cannot answer to it and then provide an output for us in regards to the data that we have provided. Without data, AI is basically nothing. So without us, there is no AI.
Yeah.
So that is, I think that is the perspective I really hope people come out of, that without humans, there is no artificial intelligence. There is not going to be a time where humans are going to be overtaken by artificial intelligence.
You are watching us. This is the Green Transition Show with me, Dr. Francis Tuokuu. Our guest is Abigail Kyei-Kwateng. She's a sustainable energy engineer based in Edinburgh, in Scotland. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do so on YouTube. You can also follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and on LinkedIn to motivate us to continue to bring you insightful conversations. I'm really enjoying our conversation. So we are looking at smart machines, dirty footprints, AI or artificial intelligence, and sustainability. So, Abigail, what are the sustainability implications for countries hosting large AI data infrastructure? What are the implications of that? Can you share with us?
Yeah, of course. So I think when we talk about artificial intelligence, the countries or two countries coming to mind who have a bit of a large impact or have basically a large outreach when it comes to artificial intelligence, and then that would say America and China in general. So they have basically groundbreaking approaches in regards to AI research, AI approaches in regards to their industries, sustainability, economy. and how basically it's impacted them as a general, the country. So with regards to these two companies, we're taking these two countries as a scenario based, right? We have America and China. So even though these countries can actually utilize their high driven AI research in regards to promoting like economy, sustainability, and in general, basically their day-to-day lives in transportation, every single thing that people live in, basically administrative works and all that. The thing about artificial intelligence is that these high built artificial intelligence systems do require a high energy efficiency. So they need a lot, in basic knowledge, they need a lot of power to run. So if you have a server, let's say on the outside of Utah, maybe a high server, let's say, I'm just presuming maybe an Abigail plant, just AI servers. These AI servers do require high energy usage. And then when we bring it down to sustainability, so the higher the usage, obviously, that means the more the environmental impact. However, one thing that I'm actually looking forward is in as much as that this AI tools do require that much resources to keep up with. At the same time, they can be used as a turnaround. As I said, they are being utilized in sustainability in the first place. So there can be a time where there can be a turnaround where they can actually end up utilizing their high AI systems, research technologies to actually impact or go along the route of clean green energy, basically. And I feel like that is something that I've seen America doing, China too as well. So I feel like even though they are actually having this whole groundbreaking, they are taking over the world, quote unquote, and doing a whole lot of things in regards to putting their country out there, building their economy, basically improving the lives of their people too as well. In as much as they're doing that at the same time, they are also making groundbreaking research on how to actually utilize energy efficiency or clean energy, promote green energy. Because I think with regards to China, as I especially said, is one of the biggest AI usage or have groundbreaking AI usage. They are actually promoting clean energy. There are streets that you go in China and then they have walkways that are basically powered electricity. So the more you walk, the more power is generated. They have places in like America, as you said, that I think America has the high usage in regards to electric cars. I don't know, we all might have our alternative ideas about electric cars, but at the same time, with regards to environmental pollution, even though we have to consider e-waste, but then they have the ability to basically improve or impact the rest of the world in regards to how we approach clean and green energy, so to speak.
But with such large data centers, it means that it will come with some environmental footprints.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
are we prepared? Are these countries prepared to deal with, the environmental footprints that are associated with the AI systems, the AI data centers? Do they have? I know you mentioned clean energy there. At the same time, also promoting clean energy, but are we prepared to address the environmental footprints associated with the AI data centers?
Okay. So I think this is something that came up. So I think I went for a conference last year in regards to sustainable development goals and how best countries are aligning with these to improve or basically reduce their impact on the environment as much as they put in. So let's say with companies that actually have these high service, as you say, obviously they comes with their energy consumption and also e-waste too as well. So one thing that the UN is actually doing, or there's this whole what we call corporate sustainability. I think that's what comes in, where every single company is supposed to do a bit of a carbon accounting in regards to how much you impact the environment, And then you have to balance it with how much you actually improve the balance, like basically the damage that you've made. So this is something that I feel we could all like entreat or spread the word. So if you're causing more harm, it's more likely to just bring it to late term. So you make the trash, you clean the trash up, sort of. So the trash is inevitable. E-waste, as long as we live, even with regards to like normal waste, as long as we are humans, as long as we're going about our duties, there will be waste one way or the other. There will be environmental impacts, there will be environmental damage. We're not living the world as we met it. Yeah, but what we can do is try and replenish what we've actually destroyed, quote unquote. So if we're going around the approach of, okay, I have made this damage, or I'm an oil and gas industry, or I have an AI server, which at the end of the day is producing this S7 of ton of e-waste. What can I do at the end of the day to make sure that I'm protecting the environment in that same capacity?
I want us to stay on this point. So despite these concerns, AI is also being promoted as a tool for climate change solutions. Where do you see genuine opportunities in addressing these issues?
Okay, so I would start by narrowing it down to my own personal approach to how I see this as a solution. So I am currently working on a project that's what we call Bit Zero. And what this does is what we do, we incorporate corporate sustainability in with artificial intelligence. So you have an artificial intelligence that takes company A and say that company A, this is the output in regards to your carbon emissions. This is in regards to your waste on the environment, projectively in the next 5 to 10 years. And this is the way that you can actually either curb, reduce, or also adapt to the environment in that same manner. So putting mine aside, so let me say mine is basically a little drop in the bucket. So taking the whole general concept of the impact that we can have in regards, or the impact artificial intelligence can have in sustainability is, as I stated in my first point, is being able to utilize artificial intelligence in regards to building net zero cities, implementing net zero engineering, sustainability, and also coming up with ways or helping artificial intelligence help us or guide us in drafting policies that would lead us towards a more greener future. And I believe these are tools that are already out there, but there is this whole, as I said, controversies on how they are going to take over what the human mind can do. But I feel like if a time comes and we do come, I do hope that time comes early, that we do come into tune with the fact that we do want to align with AI, utilize AI effectively. I believe we can get to a point where, okay, we can come to a point where like, okay, my name based on personal day-to-day basis. I live in a house in Utah or Scotland or Edinburgh or Dundee. I wake up, I have a tool that tells me, okay, in your household, this is the amount in regards to energy usage or the kind of waste that you produce in your house. This is the environmental impact. And at the end of the day, this is how you can go about it to reduce environmental impact. And we all are on our phones on a day-to-day basis. So you get up and you get a reading like this, incorporate fines. Okay, so if you don't do this, this is the fine that comes with it. Problem solved. People don't like to lose money. So it's like we've actually built into a system where we are being managed or we are being guided towards reducing our environmental impacts on our day-to-day basis, basically.
So this is the Green Transition Show with me, Dr. Francis Tuokuu. We urge you to go to YouTube and subscribe to the Green Transition Show to motivate us to continue to bring you insightful conversations. You can also follow us on Facebook and TikTok, as well as on LinkedIn. My guest is Abigail Kyei-Kwateng. She's a sustainable energy engineer based in Edinburgh, in Scotland. Abigail, I want us to look at regulations. You mentioned policies. I want us to look at regulations. Do we currently have enough regulations governing the environmental impacts of AI? Do we?
Okay.
Whether you are looking at China, US, or any country at all, do we have enough regulations?
Okay, so what I would say is we do have, so compared to yesterday, we do have as much as we need, but not necessarily to the point where we can be relaxed about it or we can be complacent in regards to the amount of policies we need to regulate the systems. And in regards to even regulations, it comes to the concept of impacting or in the concept of actually making it grounded or making people align with those regulations or abide by those regulations in plain words. So I do think over the years, so 5 years ago, there wasn't as much interest or there wasn't as much approach or investment in sustainability as compared to now. However, if I'm doing a more projective analysis, I do feel we can do better. I do feel that there can be more that can be added. And I feel like, in regards to how the approach has been in the recent years, we are actually heading in the right direction. Because every single year, there are new policies that are coming out that is basically putting what I say, 1 foot down.
Look like we've lost our guest. So sorry about that. This is the Green Transition Show with me, Dr. Francis Tuokuu. Our guest is Abigail Kyei-Kwateng. She's having network challenges. We'll try to bring her back onto the show. If you have comments, suggestions, please share with us to motivate us to continue to bring you such insightful conversations. You can share our videos, comment on them, and let your friends, let your family know about the Green Transition Show and the kind of work we are doing. We are providing a platform to unpack issues related to the environment, climate change, renewable energy, clean energy, etc. We want to contribute our bit to help deal with our global environmental challenges. Climate change is a global issue. To deal with this issue, all of us need to be on board. We all have to be part of the solution. And so that's why we are doing this. That's why we've created this platform to share ideas, to bring global experts to deal with all the challenges confronting us today, particularly at this time of our history, where climate change is a threat to food security and the well-being of our planet. So if you are interested in being part of the show, coming to join the show to contribute your bit, please do so. You can join us to have such conversations. And that will be a way of contributing to dealing with our environmental problems. We all have a role to play. We all have a part to play in this time of our history. And we need to create a conducive environment for our children and our children's children. We have to leave this world better place for the next generation. And that's why we're having all these conversations. So let's try to bring Abigail back onto the show. Welcome back to the show.
I lost you.
Welcome. Well.
Yes, very much.
Welcome back to the show. So let's move on. How can it looks like developing countries have been lost in the conversations of AI? Can you throw more light on that? How can developing countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, how can they be part of the AI conversations? I know the focus is always on the US, China, and the developed world. But how can developing countries be part of the conversations without sacrificing environmental sustainability?
Okay, so every single time, even in regards to, say, businesses investment, whenever we talk about developing countries, people seem to think we are behind. But one thing I can say is in pertaining to waste development or waste energy, waste management, waste is seen as Africa's shame. I think that's where I'm going to jump. But then it is slowly becoming our capability. Let me use my home country, for instance, Ghana. So taking you back to Ghana. So right now, ideally, with regards to waste energy, so initially, Ghana was not keen on basically renewable energy, waste management, anything regards to sustainability. It was more of a research topic than a more in-tuned thing that we basically do have. However, right now, we do have these sustainable development goals trying to incorporate developing countries, as you rightly stated, into their policies, where they are collaborating with governments to actually ensure that companies do their bit to basically contribute to the environment or actually reduce the impact that they do create. And circling back to energy and waste management. In regards to waste management, previously, I think in Ghana, we only had one waste management company that was basically running the rocks. And even with that, it was not, the waste was not being recycled, it was just being dumped at one site. However, right now, there is a rule on the ground in regards to the Environmental Association in Ghana where it actually has a law that has been passed forbidding unlawful dumping, which was not there initially. So I feel like I cannot talk about the rest of the countries that have really been, I think one country that I've also had an analysis with in regards to sustainability is also Rwanda too as well. And Rwanda is also a rising star when it comes to sustainability. So they've also incorporated these policies as Ghana have in regards to their waste management, inputting regulations in place, trying to get corporate sustainability as a thing to stay, and also to ensure that companies do contribute their quota to basically reducing the impact on the environment. So I wouldn't say that we have been left behind or developing countries have been left behind in regards to basically net zero cities. We are actually the pioneers. So, because whenever people talk about waste, or when people talk about inefficiency, their research is based off countries in Africa.
So,
And you see,
I think that so my question is not that we've been left behind in terms of environmental sustainability, but in terms of AI innovation, right? AI innovation. But I'm saying that are we left behind in terms of AI innovation, and how can we do that? How can we be part of the how can we be part of the conversation without sacrificing environmental sustainability?
Okay, I think perhaps the question was quite misguided. So let's say in regards to artificial innovation, let's say even incorporating it with sustainability or even putting artificial innovation as a single party, right? Right now, there are a lot of, if anybody is coming to, if there's, I think over the past 5 years or 6, 7 years, there's been a lot of tech startups that has actually risen up from developing countries than it has in developed countries. So now more investors are even drawn to developing countries because they feel like that is basically the matter of or like data, the matter of or potential a lot of people are going back there, and obviously they are seeing returns on investment. So I wouldn't say we have been left behind. Artificial intelligence, even though we've taken our time to join the race, but we are in the race now, and then slowly we are actually paving our way and also making our mark in there as well. I do, let's say, projectively, I do feel that there are some things that actually take a longer time to actually reflect in developing countries as well. But then every single step matters. We are taking the right step in the right direction, and improvement has been realized. So we are part of the race. We are not left out of it. However, I do feel okay, there are countries that have gone way ahead of us, but then we are impotent in regards to the speed or the acceleration that we're taking based on the exposure or the analysis that people have made in developing countries, how they've basically brought us on board, made us realize what we have to do, and how artificial intelligence is not just a myth or a futuristic thing, but it's actually now a lot of developing countries that are hopping on board.
Yeah.
And utilizing it too well.
Yeah. So, what are your final comments, particularly with regards to whether or not you are optimistic or pessimistic about the relationship between AI and sustainability? Your final words, please.
Okay. So, what I would say is, in regards to my final words, is personally, I am curious. I am big on continual learning, and I'm ready to also jump in and make sure that AI is utilized to the fullest in regards to managing sustainability and also net zero cities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much too as well.
Yeah. We thank our guests for joining us on the show. Viewers, this is where we bring down the curtains. We hope to see you again next week. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly go to YouTube and subscribe. You can also follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn so that we continue to bring you insightful conversations. I learned a lot through this conversation. We thank Abigail for the time, and we hope to see her again soon.